Hello everyone, and in this video we are going to be talking about the severe impacts Debbie will bring to the southeastern United States and what is next for our tropical map. Starting off with the sea surface temperatures, we don't need to look at Debbie because Debbie is currently over land. Although what we are going to look at is currently Ernesto, or possible Ernesto. I believe it will become Ernesto eventually. It is currently in high 29s, even some spots 30 degrees, so that is plenty than enough. That could cause rapid intensification, but of course, we are not expecting that anytime soon. We are expecting it to develop maybe around the Yucatan Peninsula in the Gulf or in the Caribbean Sea. Here is the GFS model. You can see that currently Debbie has around, I would say, 1,002 millibar pressure. I would say it is higher than it is on the models currently. But then you can see it comes back off, re-strengthens, and goes back into Georgia. But that is not what the National Hurricane Center is forecasting. They're forecasting a map more of coming off Georgia and making landfall in central coast of South Carolina. And then behind it, right here, you can see that would be possible Ernesto forming up. And if you watch that into the Gulf, it actually gets its act together and makes landfall as maybe a potential major hurricane in the Houston area, just where Beryl made landfall just like a month ago. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. There's no guarantees that will happen. It's very unlikely as of now because we are so far out, but we'll have to keep an eye. Here's the wind shear. You can see it is pretty high, although in some spots there's pockets for favorability, like where Debbie is. That's why it has a chance to re-strengthen into a strong tropical storm. And then possible Ernesto also has a good favorable environment. So that I could also see developing into a major hurricane if every condition it needs to stays good. Here's the rainfall models. You can see that in Georgia, some spots 12, 14 inches. Some spots of Georgia have already gotten like 6 to 8 inches. So that would cause major flooding issues. And there is flash flood emergencies in the central Florida peninsula, kind of near the Big Bend. So they are experiencing some big issues currently. Here's South Carolina. You can see 12 to 14 inches also, probably more than that. Same thing with Wilmington area of North Carolina. And as we go up, it gets a little bit less, but still is a lot of flooding. Here's the vorticity. You could see Debbie was tightly wrapped until it made landfall, loosened up, and they're expecting it to get reorganized kind of and slam back into Georgia, although that is, again, not at all what the National Hurricane Center is forecasting. Sorry, I tapped that right there. That was an issue and an accident. But anyway, here we go. You can see possible Ernesto. They're getting really well organized. So in my opinion, if this stays the same until Ernesto gets itself together, we'll get a major hurricane, although that is not going to happen at all. So don't listen to what I'm saying as of now. Here's currently what Debbie looks like. You can definitely see that the convection has weakened and that it has definitely been downgraded back to a tropical storm. It's still carrying some heavy rain in central Florida. That is why they have those flash flooding emergencies. And headed into Georgia and the Carolinas is more of that heavy rain in the yellows and oranges. Here is the tropical model as of 5 p.m. You can see this system still has a 30% chance in a week and 10% chance in 2 days, and is expected sometime again to develop around the Yucatan Peninsula, either in the Caribbean Sea or the Gulf of Mexico. Let me refresh this. There's Debbie right over the border of Georgia and Florida. And lastly, we're expecting a tropical wave later tonight to come off of Senegal to form later in a week or two. as maybe another system. Here's the map. As I said, you see it's been downgraded again to 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm. So it's a mid-range tropical storm now. And it doesn't have a very big wind field either. You can see it just stalls, though, for like 2 days off the coast of Georgia and the Carolinas, and then makes a strong tropical storm landfall on South Carolina, moving in through the mid-Atlantic and eventually to my area, New England. And you can see those newly issued warnings for Georgia and South Carolina, and those newly issued watches for portions of South Carolina and North Carolina. So for anyone who lives there, please keep an eye, because this can cause heavy flooding, water spouts, and even tornadoes, land tornadoes, and storm surge is definitely possible. Lastly, here's the ocean heat content. You can see it is plenty warm for Debbie over there. Possible Ernesto, it is warm right now and will be plenty warm where it goes. And this system, there's not a lot out there, but as it moves, there will be more into the main development region. So thank you all for watching this video. Please continue to like and subscribe if you enjoy my videos. And as always, stay safe and be prepared.